What's going on YouTube? My name is ginj-tcg or Chris, and today I'm back with another Journey Together Rogue video, and this one is gonna be on the new single prize menace Tyranitar with the Daunting Gaze ability. When this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent cannot play any item cards from their hand. So when you pair it with Budew for the early item lock in the beginning of the game, and then in the pretty much rest of the game you run with Tyranitar, your opponent will rarely be able to play more than half of their deck. Now, this deck does do very well, and you actually can work on some mill with Cracking Stomp. You discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck and do 150 damage, which can pair for some amazing 2-shot potential. And if you're worried about dealing with things like Dragapult EX, that's why we do play 1 copy of Munkidori. With the Adrena Brain ability, you can move 3 damage counters off any of your Pokemon when a Dark Energy is attached, and we only play Dark Energy since we are playing a Dark Tyranitar deck, so that we can get up to 330, taking down Pokemon like Tyranitar, excuse me, not Tyranitar EX, it's 340, like Dragapult EX at 320 and Charizard EX at 330. So we can hit those numbers very comfortably. Now, for other options in attackers, because we got some fun ones in this deck. I mentioned Ichipan, we got Adrena Brain, we got the main item lock, but we also have access to another Tyranitar that does a whole lot of damage if you're up against an area 0 depths, such as Terra Box. With Route, you can do 30 more damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So if they have 8 benched Pokemon with area 0 under depths, you can swing for 270 damage since the base is 30, and you get that extra buff. So you can swing for massive 1-shot KOs with that guy. You can swing for big 2-shot KOs with the single prize Tyranitar. We've got the Dunsparce as a draw engine with Runaway Draw to take out the draw engine from the bench and kind of limit our opponent's ability to gust around, you know, like our setup Tyranitars. But then we also, because we're playing Dunsparce, get access to what might be honestly one of my favorite, if not my favorite EX to come out of this set, Dudunsparce EX. With the Tenacious Tail attack, you do 60 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon EX in play. So you can ramp up damage very, very quickly. If your opponent is playing something like Terra Box and spamming Cornerstone Ogerpon, and you're worried that you're not going to be able to mill them out with this Tyranitar or take them out with the single prize Tyranitar, you can actually use the Dunsparce EX into it. And although we are weak to fighting, Cornerstone Ogerpon does not wall out, or does not do weakness damage. It just walls out ability Pokemon. It doesn't do weakness, doesn't do resistance, but it does have Shred. So we will not be taking weakness damage, and they are effectively 2-shotting us since they are swinging for 140. And we could potentially 1-shot them if they have enough EX Pokemon in play. So we have 2 very good outs to Cornerstone Ogerpon, which I know a lot of people are worried about with the amount of wall decks running around right now. Now for the rest of the deck, we got a bit of a fun build. For our general consistency, we got 3 copies of Arven, 3 copies of Iono to make sure we're drawing and searching for the cards when we need them. We've got Colress's Tenacity to get us a energy card, which could be huge if we're behind in prize cards. We are playing 3 copies of Reversal Energy, so just a quick attach and swing with Tyranitar with the Reversal can help kind of turn the tide back in our favor. But more importantly, you can search out our stadiums, of which we are playing 1 Pokemon League headquarters to make decks like Raging Bolt take a bit longer to attack, as well as Jamming Tower to shut down things like Sparkling Crystal. Now, the most fun stadium we have in this deck, arguably one of my favorite aspects as well, is Neutralization Zone, which prevents all damage from Pokemon that don't have a rule box by attacks from your opponent's active Pokemon EX and Pokemon V. So although Pokemon V have rotated, we still do get immunity from EX on the single prize menace. So if our opponent is not playing Terra Box, maybe they're playing Dragapult, you know, or Charizard, and they don't play many stadiums, maybe 1 or 2, you know, getting a neutralization zone down after, you know, they're forced to bump something like Jamming Tower, we could then play the stadium, and it causes a lot of difficulty for our opponent to get rid of, and hopefully buys us another turns to get a couple more attacks ahead. We're also playing 1 copy of Jacq to search out supporting Pokemon. Now, although this is super nice to make sure we're getting out our Tyranitars and we can Rare Candy evolve when we need to, we also can search for the regular Dunsparce and use Runaway Draw to draw a whole bunch of cards in hand, so long as we can get Dunsparce in play. I am opting to play the 70 HP Dunsparce and not the Free Retreat 60 HP one, because Dragapult is so popular, as well as Gardevoir getting more and more popular with the Munkidori setup. They can effectively use double Munkidori and take out the Dunsparces before they evolve. So, you know, just having the 70 HP one does buy a little extra more, and that 10 damage does become very, very relevant. Past that, we're playing a whole bunch of items. We've got 4 Buddy-Buddy Poffins and 3 Ultra Balls to make sure we're searching out our Pokemon. We've got 1 Rod and 1 Night Stretcher to give us some recovery options, whether it's putting a basic energy or Pokemon back into our hand or shuffling a bunch back into the deck. We've got 3 Rare Candies. I don't think 4 is totally necessary in a deck like this, just because we are relying a lot on Dudunsparce for draw power, and I think once we get one Tyranitar in the active, we can kind of slow our opponent's roll down enough where we don't need to use 4 rare candies. We can kind of rely on evolving one of our Tyranitars with Pupitar. And then we are playing 3 Crushing Hammers, and the reason I love Crushing Hammers so much right now is a lot of the decks run very much lower amounts of energy than we've seen in a while. So if we could use Crushing Hammer to get rid of an energy or two, as well as just milling an energy or two from the top of our opponent's deck, we actually can cause a lot of energy disruption, which I think is a very great way to roll with this deck, and a very underrated way to kind of pick up some big wins. Your opponent doesn't have the energy to set up. Now, the last cards to talk about in the deck are our 2 tools. We got 2 copies of Luxurious Cape. Since Fezandipiti, which is there for draw, is our only 2-prize Pokemon, and we don't even necessarily need to play Fezandipiti that often, I figured why not include 2 copies of Luxurious Cape, because something about a 290 HP Tyranitar that has an ability that puts Item Lock in play, that is also under Neutralization Zone and potentially immune from most of our opponent's attackers, sounds kind of nice to me. And then if we do have Munkidori or a Pokemon like that, we do also have Rescue Board to make sure that, if our opponent bosses it up and doesn't take the KO but uses that turn to set themselves up, we can attach Rescue Board and get a nice retreat option, a nice free retreat pivot off a Pokemon there. So that's pretty much it for the list. I hope you guys are excited for this one. I definitely have been looking forward to playing this deck for so long now, so I'm happy to give it a go and show it off to everyone. And before we hop into today's video, got 2 things to remind everyone. There is less than 1 week until the Creators Cook-Off, a tournament created and hosted by Chef Husky, and I will be commentating in that tournament alongside him on April 5th at 11 a.m. EST. At that tournament, a bunch of Pokemon content creators will be showing down in a massive rogue deck building cook-off tournament, so definitely tune into that. It's going to be an awesome event. I definitely can't wait to stream that out to y'all. Again, I will be commentating at it alongside Chef, so I will be getting the, lucky seat of kind of showing off some amazing people and some amazing creators and what they're building. The other announcement is a bit less important than that one, but I did get the TCG Player affiliate link. So if you're going to TCG Player to order any singles, such as the new Tyranitar, any deck accessories, or any decks, make sure you head on over to TCG Player via my link in the description down below. Clicking on the link and ordering stuff within 48 hours supports the channel in a huge way, so thank you so much to everyone who's been doing that. And yeah, with that being said, let's hop into today's video and see how well the new single prize Item Lock Tyranitar can do. Welcome to match number 1. This one is going to be fairly difficult. We are up against Gardevoir, and they do get Screamtails in the active and energy attached, and they can get down a Ralts on their bench. Now, this match is going to be difficult, but shutting down items can truly devastate this deck. So we'll see if, since they don't have access to Refinement, if that could buy us a little bit. For now, honestly, you know what? This hand kind of cooks. We're going to go Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I'm going to take down Budew and Larvitar. I like this. I like what we got. Okay. We don't totally have the best hand, but you know what? I'm going to make it work. I am going to put him under item lock right now with Itchy Pollen. But first things first, I am going to use Crushing Hammer nice and early. Just get, I was going to say, try to get an energy off that Screamtails just so they can't even slap for 30 and take the KO. But it seems like they will be able to. So I'm only going to get myself 1 turn with Budew, but that's fine. If 1 turn of item lock can stop them from, using Nest Balls, Buddy-Buddy Poffins, getting more down, I mean, we'll die by slap. It's the best I got. Did I lose a reversal energy for it? Yes. Is that awful? Yes, but I don't really have a hand that's going to grant me much more than this. So I figured it was my best step, and they're going to get a dark energy attached here too. And Iono us into a new hand. That's fine. That's all I needed to see. It should help both my opponent and I. However, they need to draw into a lot more Ralts, and I got double candy, double hammer with Arven. Now, sadly, I don't think I'm going to get another reversal energy top deck. If I get Colress's Tenacity, that would be huge. But regardless, my opponent's going to be under item lock. So it'll work. It'll work. Let's get Larvitar in the active. I can Crushing Hammer. Just get rid of that Psychic energy. Nice and early. Neutralization Zone does help a little bit, but not too much, honestly. Not against a deck like this. Let's Arven. Maybe go Ultra Ball for Dudunsparce and Rescue Board. And just Ultra Ball away Rescue Board, because, I don't know, it's at this point, it's whatever. I don't really want to get rid of Neutralization Zone. I don't mind it, because then they can't attack with Gardevoir. For now, let's Rare Candy into Larvitar. We know we need to get that done. I might just have to get rid of a Hammer. I need to keep the other candy. I'm going to keep Neutralization Zone. Hammer is the most sackable thing. And I could go Fezandipiti for Flip the Script, but I really don't want a 2-prize Pokemon in play. I'd rather just use Runaway Draw for now. And see if I could draw into a energy or reversal energy, anything of the sort. I do get a Colress's Tenacity for next turn, and I actually get another Rare Candy Tyranitar. Don't mind if I get one of those down. And then we'll go Crushing Hammer and see what the vibe is. See if I can get rid of that Psychic Energy. I cannot. So all my hammers are gone. I've flipped tails on 2 of them, and I failed the 3rd, so that's not epic. I don't remember if I should have 2 more Reversal Energy in the deck. I don't know if both are prized. I didn't totally check, so I'm just going to attach the energy to my active in case I did prize both of them, and then I can Colress's Tenacity for a Dark Energy, and I can start using Cracking Stomp. My opponent's got 6 cards. We'll see if any of them are items that will allow my opponent to play the game, or if they're supporters or other cards that aren't items, so they can play the game. If they're all items, there's not much my opponent can do. They're going to use Explorer's Guidance, hoping to get a lot of Psychic Energy in the discard pile here to set up Gardevoir EX for some stronger attacks. Items are also useless, so my opponent might get rid of items that would help them just because they can't use them at the moment, and that's another kind of underrated way this deck can help pick up. And although Gardevoir is scary, and look at that, they lose Rare Candy, they lose Counter Catcher, they do get 2 Psychic Energy in the discard. But if they didn't get just a straight up Gardevoir EX off of that Explorer's Guidance, there's not much they could do. I mean, if they get an Ultra Ball, yeah, they just slap for 30. It's not going to be anything I'm too scared of yet. And we get another Dark Energy top deck. That's actually massive. So I am going to Colress's Tenacity. I'm going to take down a Reversal Energy and a Jamming Tower. I am going to play the Jamming Tower now, just see if I could bait out a Stadium Bump. I don't know how many stadiums this deck plays, but I would like to keep Neutralization Zone for the end. And I'm going to swing for 300 damage, but also discard the top 2 cards of my opponent's deck and put us in a good spot. We'll tie up on prize cards, but if my opponent takes a KO, I do have a Reversal Energy sitting in the back burner for this Tyranitar, so I'm not afraid of, you know, like the next turn and what my opponent's got. We're going to get an Ultra Ball out of the prize cards, which is kind of nice. You know, if another couple cards in hand, and I can use the Ultra Ball, get down maybe a Pupitar, start setting up a manual evolution. You know, we don't have to bank on the Rare Candy for the final KO. My opponent's going to promote Ralts, which they cannot Rare Candy into unless they also play Boss's Orders and bring up a Larvitar to the active. But if they play Boss, they're not playing a card like Arven, they're not playing a card like, you know, Explorer's Guidance or something else that's tricky like that. They're not playing a setup card. So using a Boss's Orders to gust something up, because I know some people are going to be thinking like, all right, like, you know, you're playing all these other Pokemon that don't have ability or item lock abilities. You know, what happens when your opponent uses Boss's Orders on one of them? I mean, that's a great question. They can play items, and that's okay, because they had to use their supporter. And, you know, if they're using a supporter like Guidance, I mean, they're losing Bravery Charm, Counter Catcher, Night Stretcher. That's huge. And they're just going to pass off that. That's massive for us. We are going to get another Larvitar down. Honestly, I'm going to hold this one just so I can Ultra Ball it away next turn. I think here the best play for us is just to go Cracking Stomp again. We are going to take 2 prize cards, so now the Reversal Energy is a lot less pointless, but we get rid of Brilliant Blender, which is great for us. Now my opponent is down their Ace Spec, and we get Pokemon League Headquarters, which is just another Stadium Bump. Maybe I should have kept Jamming Tower in hand. I guess it didn't come in too useful yet. But that's fine. My opponent's going to get Gardevoir EX in play. They will be able and go Boss. Okay, that's fine. Because they're going to take a KO on this guy, right? They're going to get access to items, but I'm also going to keep my Tyranitar. Oh, actually, they could KO this Tyranitar. 160. Charm is active, but Jamming Tower is here, so Charm is not going to do anything. However, they are swinging for 160 with max energy down, and if they do that, they are still KOing our Tyranitar, so that does cause a bit of a problem, but we'll see what they swing for. Yeah, actually that is pretty bad, because we did go up a prize card here. Being ahead is somehow the biggest problem for us. I mean, we'll see what my opponent takes out with Screamtails. That Bravery Charm is going to cause a massive amount of, or not the Bravery Charm, the Screamtail just itself is going to cause a massive amount of problems. We'll see what they got Roaring Scream for. They got 5 Psychic Energy in the discard pile. Yeah, they're good. They could totally KO our Tyranitar with energy, and when they, not if they do that, when they do that, I mean, we don't have the best follow-up. I can promote probably They might not have any items left in hand, honestly. I feel like if they have items, they're going to play them now. I'll probably just promote Larvitar again and see what my opponent's got in store for us. They can use Munkidori to move 3 damage counters off the Gardevoir onto our other Tyranitar, so they've got multiple follow-ups. They got multiple outs. That's going to be very problematic as where things get tricky. We gotta hope we get, yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. And they will take out the one with energy, because that would make the most sense. Yeah. You know, I could just put an energy onto Larvitar and just swing with this guy. Take the KO. Doesn't feel awful, to be fair. I guess it is a bit of a waste, but, you know, whatever. Let's do it. Let's do it. What would I get rid of, though? I gotta get rid of Neutralization Zone to do that, actually, though. Because I want to keep the Dunsparce, because I'm going to draw into that. They're going to KO this Tyranitar. That's going to be a huge problem, so I need to get this guy down. Yeah, whatever. I don't really have another choice. I'm just going to play what I got. I could get Fez. Make that a target for my opponent. I actually don't hate that. And just draw 3 here. I feel like we're kind of in a situation where that could be wildly beneficial. Because our hand is very dead, and I need to play something. I'm just going to play the Fez. Might not have been the smartest out, but I gotta do something. Vessel's huge. And Jacq. Jacq is actually pretty big, too. Okay, that's good. Let's use Jacq. Let's get a couple evolution Pokemon out. It's not awesome. Let's take this guy. I like discarding the cards from the deck, though. We'll take Pupitar. We'll take the single prize Tyranitar. I'm gonna Vessel away Dudunsparce EX, just because they don't play many EXs. We'll smack an energy down here, and we'll also get a Pupitar. Man, okay, I actually can't evolve this bench guy. Well, I want to attack this turn and take the KO. They do resist. Okay, so be it. You could KO Tyranitar, or I'll have another Tyranitar set up the next turn. I didn't totally think this played through. I forgot about the resistance to fighting. I don't know if it would have changed much. I think, you know what, we are kind of meant to fall down a little bit here. And so be it. There's not much I'm going to do about that. They do have access to items. They will use research. You know, we could play the mill aspect. They lose another charm. They got no more charms left, right? There's 2 in the discard. There's 1 on the active. They got no more. That's going to be big. Although we don't have... I don't know. I'm stuck. It's got a lot. I felt great in the beginning. I feel very stuck, as I often do when I play against Gardevoir at this point. So that's annoying, but that's okay. We did get rid of their ace spec, but we also kind of just wasted ours. Like, we didn't really get any value out of it whatsoever. And they get another Munkidori down. Ugh, gosh. Although, like, they're not going to use... They got how many energy in this card? They got 2. I guess they could get some value out of Munkidori, but if they take damage off Screamtails, they're not KOing Tyranitar. They need 8 damage counters. 8 damage counters. They need 80 damage on Screamtails to KO Tyranitar. They could get rid of the 1 damage counter off Gardevoir. I don't know if that's going to fix their math a lot. I mean, they could put it on Fez just to do it, or get some extra damage down. All right. I mean, fair. You get 1 more energy down on Gardevoir, you could get full value out of that Munkidori that's on their bench. Put all the damage counters on Fez. You still are not within range of taking a Screamtails KO, but that's okay, because as long as they don't KO my active Pupitar, I've got a KO with Tyranitar the following turn, and if they do take a KO on my Pupitar, we'll be behind a prize card, so Reversal Energy will work on our other Tyranitar, and we'll take a KO that way. So I kind of like where we're sitting regardless. And they're going to Roaring Screen him. I'm curious to see, 180, I'm curious to see where they put the damage. They're going to put it on Fezandipiti. Okay, not what I expected. I guess it makes sense, because they could take 2 prizes this turn. That is a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world. I am going to go Arven. I'm going to take down a Luxurious Cape and maybe a Buddy-Buddy Poffin. Get some more Dunsparces, or Dunsparces on the bench, just to draw into something huge. Right? I like that. Let's get another Dunsparce down. I'm gonna cape up this guy, just so it's more annoying to KO. Actually, is that even worth it? I don't think so, actually. I think that's a dumb idea, because then if they go boss, we're kind of cooked regardless. So, you know what? Let's just smack this here. Let's let them figure something out. Let's swing for 300. Sadly, I don't have boss's orders. But that's okay. I get rid of Rare Candy Lily's Clefairy. That's kind of big. I wouldn't have hated it if they got down Lily's Clefairy. But my opponent has a 3-prize turn lined up for themselves. I guess I could have put Cape on the active to protect it. But they promote Munkidori. Like, I guess if they promoted Gardevoir, we would have just swung. Got rid of their only Gardevoir EX. Yeah, that's pretty awful. Because then, if we KO'd Gardevoir and they didn't have game this turn, it would be cooked without Psychic Embrace. And they're also down so much. They're down, what, 2 candies, as well as Ralts, Curly, a whole Gardevoir line? Yeah, that hurts. They can use Psychic Embrace to get an energy on the Munkidori just to retreat, put an energy on Gardevoir. Maybe then I should have put Luxurious Cape down. I just didn't want to have two prize Pokemon in play, because I didn't know what my opponent had if they played a crazy 4th Bravery Charm and, what do you call it? Drifloon line. You know, they could have KO'd the active, taken 4 prize cards this turn. They're going to get 2 damage counters down on Munkidori, or 2 Psychic Energy down on Munkidori. They could use Mind Bend. That would be a little problematic, actually. I'm not going to lie. They can take the KO this turn. They can move 3 damage counters onto Fezandipiti EX and take 2 prize cards, which does limit our draw since we... Oh, they don't. What? They're going to just Mind Bend and leave me with Fez. Interesting. I don't know what my opponent's line is, but I'm curious to see where it takes them. I'm going to use Runaway Draw, hopefully get Boss's Orders, take out Gardevoir here. I don't, I get Iono. Okay. That's alright. Do I Iono this turn? Do I Cape at all? I don't think I Cape still. I don't really have a great healing card either. I'll attach the Dark Energy onto this guy. How many Rare Candy? We played 3 Candy, and we've played 2 of them. I should have another Candy. If I could get a Route Tyranitar down, I would love to. I am going to Ultra Ball away, Cape, and Iono, I guess. Just to see what's in the deck. Take down another Dunsparce, just a thin. Actually, you know what? No, we'll take out Munkidori. What? If I could get a Dark Energy down... Oh, man, I should have done that first. Healed up Fez, taking it out of... That's a huge misplay on my end. Okay, so be it. I mean, that's... I forgot I had Munkidori in this deck. Oh, my God, that's huge. That is so big. I'm so going to regret that, and that's fine. That's exactly the Tyranitar I wanted. Because now this is an easy backup attacker. And we'll go Cracking Stomp. Hope I flip heads. Never punished. Never punished. We're still taking a KO on Munkidori. Now we are 1 2-prize KO away from victory. And get rid of Night Stretcher Fez. That's big. That's big. A KO on Gardevoir, a KO on Mew, and we've got game. My opponent can easily take 3 prize cards this turn. If they use Munkidori to put damage on Fezandipiti, and then they use Gardevoir EX or Mew EX to copy an ability, take a KO on our active, they will have 1 prize card remaining, in which case I promote Tyranitar, a countercatcher up Mew, I believe, actually, 6, no I do, 9, yeah, I swing for just enough. It's a KO Mew EX with Route, which feels pretty awesome. Where are you putting the Adrenabrain damage, though? Are you using Adrenabrain to take a 2 prize turn? Take 2 KOs. That I guess, wouldn't be ideal. Nope, they're putting it all on Tyranitar. They do not want to take that KO yet. That makes sense, and they're just going to Mind Bend, load up some more damage. I could KO myself. That would be bad. That would mean... Oh, never... Actually, no, I can't Boss and Retreat, though. Oh, man. How much energy you got in discard? You got 3. I could send it. I could send it. With the Boss on Mew. Hope to flip heads. Let's do it. Let's do it. Why not? Let's have some fun. Give me the heads. One time. Let me see this. Let me see this for match 1. Let me end on a huge Boss. Confusion means nothing. Tyranitar means business. That's going to wrap it up for match number 1 of insanely way too close match against Gardevoir EX, but we will come out on top. Going 1-0 for the day. Let's see if we can go for the guaranteed positive record and catch the second dub in match number 2. I will see y'all there. Welcome to match number 2. Sorry for starting a little bit late. My opponent led Charcadet, played the Vessel, got some energy down, and then passed for a turn, giving us a solid opening. So we're going to get down a Larvitar, a Dunsparce. We are also going to use, honestly, we could Arven just for Rare Candy to hold on to it, so we got a guaranteed route the following turn. Let's take down a Budew and a Larvitar here. Let me double check, make sure Rescue Board is in the deck, so I can retreat and go in with Budew. And then, yeah, honestly, let's guarantee the candy, man. Let's tell them, hey, we got something going on in hand. I'm going to be ready to rumble the following turn. Are you going to be ready to keep pace? We will get the energy down on Larvitar. We will use Rescue Board on Dunsparce to retreat into Budew and put my opponent under item lock the following turn. So if they don't just have a Ceruledge EX in hand, if they have an Ultra Ball or some item to search for it, it will be rendered useless. And they only have 1 energy in the discard pile. However, Will-O-The-Wisp will swing for KO. If they don't bench any other Pokemon, oh, there you go, they got Abyssal Flames. If they don't bench any other Pokemon, it could get a little problematic with this Tyranitar, and it seems exactly what my problem is going to be, but hey, you know what, at least I got a somewhat of an attack. Now, we can beat our way around this deck, you know, we got something cooking. I'll bench Munkidori, I'll bite. We got other liabilities. I mean, I'm drawing 6 cards. We got double the Dunsparce, which feels kind of awesome. I need some combination of basic Dark Energy and the other Tyranitar, and we'll be alright. I will put the Rescue Board back in the deck just in case. Neutralization Zone actually also feels amazing now that I think about it, and we do have a Reversal Energy, which isn't perfect, but it gets the job done, and a Pupitar. Okay. I mean, you know what? If what I have to do is use Route and Neutralization Zone to hopefully buy me a turn, so be it. I'll save my Reversal Energy. I will go Rare Candy onto Tyranitar. I'll smack the Reversal Energy down on Pupitar, and we'll use Route for 30. My opponent needs a Stadium out. Now, they are playing Ceruledge. They probably, if I had to take a guess, play some combo of Jamming Tower and Pokemon League Headquarters. I don't know if there's a more beneficial stadium for them than those. I mean, Pokestop rotated, and I feel like I was confident they would have played a Pokestop or two, so that's kind of annoying, and they're going to get more energy into their hand. They can play more items. I mean, they could get whatever they want down. As long as they don't play a stadium, we're chilling, and they just concede. So, yeah, that's the power of Neutralization Zone. There's going to be a lot of decks out there that might not play a single stadium, such as Ceruledge. I mean, I assumed they might have played a copy of Jamming Tower or Pokemon League Headquarters, but I mean, with Pokestop rotating, that affects so many decks, or they might just use that space for other supporters, other items to dig. They might not replace it with Stadium. So since that Stadium rotated, as well as Lost Vacuum, Neutralization Zone is so much stronger now. And this is what happens. So, guaranteed positive record. 2-0. We won with some awesome item lock in match number 1 and match number 2. I mean, our A-Spec carried us. So, I'll see you on match number 3. See if we could clutch up a perfect record for the day. Welcome to match number 3. I have a decent hand, in all honesty. I mean, I do have Colress's Tenacity. I got a couple Buddy-Buddy Poffins. I'm going first, so more importantly, I could get a bench established, and then I could use Colress's Tenacity to get me a basic Dark Energy, and whatever comes next. My opponent is playing United Wings. Oh, this is going to be one of the matches ever. Alright, hey, you know what? I'll rock with it. Let's get down to Larvitar and Dunsparce. We do have another Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I will get myself a Budew, just because I might not pull off a KO next turn. However, my opponent might not either. I'll get myself another. Ah, man, this is rough. Just in case. I don't know. This might have been dumb, but whatever. We're rocking with it. I'll hold Reversal for now. I don't know what my opponent's gonna do. I know some people are like, oh, I didn't play Grand Tree in this deck. Like, you know, you could use Colress's Tenacity for Grand Tree. It gets Tyranitar into play sooner and stuff like that. And I totally understand. That honestly could be another amazing A-Spec in this deck. I honestly think with more experimentation, I could possibly like Grand Tree more than Neutralization Zone. I don't get a chance to play Neutralization Zone often. And I figured, you know what, this is as good a time as ever to show it off. It is very powerful. You know, like, you can make it work very, very well in this deck. So although Grand Tree could potentially be a more optimal way to play for exact situations like this, I don't know if it's necessarily any better. I think for now, Neutralization Zone is more fun, and I'm kind of just rocking off that aspect, and, you know, the rest we'll play and figure out from there. But, you know, of course, it's totally up to you know, whoever's piloting this deck to make that decision. For a video, for a more fun video, I wanted to run Neutralization Zone and show that off. So I hope you guys could rock with me. Maybe if you guys want, I could totally revisit this deck at some point in the future. Not probably for a bit, because this video will be coming out, and I don't want to post Tyranitar after Tyranitar video. As much fun as it is to play, in all honesty. But I could definitely maybe make a more optimized list to get it in play without many other support Pokemon other than something like Dudunsparce, since it removes itself from the bench, and then I could play Grand Tree and stuff like that. My opponent, since Ditto is rotating, is opting to replace the Dittos that used to be in this deck with Zoroark and Zoroark, which is kind of fun. Do love to see something like that every now and then. You know how decks like United Wings could adapt and give Zoroark a solid single prize option. I honestly am so happy I got Iono here. I think that's going to be a bit easier for us to take advantage of and to use, since we could use kind of a new hand. We're going to fail the Crushing Hammer. I don't know if I've landed one all video. Although I did get really lucky with the heads game 1, so I can't complain too much. I'm going to use Counter Catcher. I'm going to bring up Fezandipiti. It's just an annoying Pokemon. If I could stick it in the active, get some good damage on this, we could boss it up, take 2 prize cards later. I'm going to use Iono, hopefully get us a Rare Candy Tyranitar, and then I will hopefully swing into their active. I will not be able to do any such thing, but I will get down a Pupitar. Actually, wait, I could play Fez. We're not done. Do I play? I'm gonna get rid of one Cape. Could get rid of Munkidori. You know what? They might be one-shotting many of our Pokemon. I'll get rid of Munkidori. We could easily bring that back. Cape is not something we could bring back. I'm going to choose to get this down. I'm going to bench my own Fez, and I'm going to flip the script. And now, hopefully... Oh my god, wait, I evolved into... Oh, Nope. Watch. If I get Rare Candy Tyranitar off this Dudunsparce, I am going to be so upset. Okay, I don't. That makes me feel better. Alright, that makes me feel so much better. Let's... Crushing Hammer this energy away, so they need more than an attach retreat, because I had a feeling that was going to be heads. Obviously now they can't just attach, retreat, swing. They're going to need a little bit more than that. I am going to use this Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I'm going to bring us out one. Actually, you know what, we do have access to flip the script. What are the chances I get 3 Larvitar though? Let's get 2 Dudunsparce. And then I will Itchy Paw on. That feels right. That feels pretty good. Get some damage, put my opponent under item lock. They cannot play Brilliant Blender, which I am going to take a guess that that's their ace spec, since they need a bunch of United Wings Pokemon in the discard pile. They are going to attach that energy to Murkrow, so I was going to say unless they have Latias, that Murkrow will be stuck on the bench for a turn. But no, naturally, they've got the KO. They'll go up 2 prizes, which is wildly problematic against a deck like ours, and we're going to lose 2 of the amazing energy cards that were in our hand to help me set up another Tyranitar, but it's alright. I can evolve into Tyranitar, get another Larvitar down, and we'll take it from here. I did get a bunch of energy. I got Neutralization Zone, which is pretty cool against this deck, I guess. I don't know if I should play it immediately, though. I don't know what else my opponent has in store for us. I don't know. We'll see. I've got a great turn, though, going, and Iono's like the perfect top deck. We're down, what, 1 Iono? Yeah, just 1 Iono. This is a great top deck for us. I'm going to evolve into Tyranitar. They are up 2 prize cards, so I've got no problem with this reversal energy there. I'm going to attach an energy to Larvitar. I'm not going to play Neutralization Zone yet. I'm going to Iono my opponent to 4, and then flip the script, do any Dudunsparce abilities I may or may not draw into. Perfect. And Rare Candy Tyranitar is kind of huge here, actually, too. Because then we'll have two big boys. And yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Let's flip the script. I don't know if I want to runaway draw. Honestly, I might not want to. But if I could get Counter Catcher, I used it already, didn't I? I used it already. Man, never mind. Okay, let's Cracking Stomp. Take the KO. I'll save my Dudunsparces. I really don't need them right now. I've got Boss's Orders for next turn to take a KO on Latias, which I'm kind of looking forward to. And we'll get rid of Dartrix, which helps my opponent, but Professor's Research, which does hurt my opponent. Dartrix isn't going to do him any favors. Ooh, Route is pretty good, too. That if they have a full bench, they have 5 Pokemon on their bench, we'll be doing 150, 180 damage max. That is a boss KO on Squawk, though, which is important. My opponent's going to promote Fez. They might be promoting a Pokemon that we don't have the KO on, just because they don't have a KO, which is huge. So if I could get ahead of the game and take a KO on Latias, just jump ahead on prize cards. I would love to do that. I do need some more energy, but that's fine. I'll rock with that. Though Carmine away, Boofalands. Wait, hold up. Okay. Interesting. I don't know what basic normal attacker... Oh, you know what? Flamigo. Okay. But what 2 energy are they getting down? That's interesting. They're going to retreat into Murkrow, I'd imagine. Yep. Because they probably have the dark energy for KO. Yeah. Okay. They're going to be pushing pretty far ahead at this point. How much damage are they swinging for? If they're swinging for not 290, I actually might go Luxurious Cape. I know I don't have another counter catcher though. I must be missing something. Did we win some other way? Did they like not have energy left or something? I'm confused. I don't know why we won that. But we did. I felt like we were going to dig ourselves out of that hole too. Man. It feels like half a win. I feel like I'm 2.5 and 0. I don't know how that would have ended had they kept playing. There must have been some other reason they scooped that we don't know. I just don't know what it is. I mean, they only played, what, 2 or 3 Dark Energy at the time? Maybe they only played like 5 and they prized a couple. But they would have taken another prize card there. They would have that would have been 3 prize cards. I don't know. There's something we were missing, and I don't know what it was. I mean, hey, win's a win. The deck worked. We were rolling. Maybe slightly too slow against the speed of United Wings, but I actually think we had a lot of comeback potential. I think what was going to be massive was Luxurious Cape. I don't remember what they were swinging for. I mean, we could check with the battle log here. I don't think it was 290. What was their last turn? Was here, and they conceded. Okay, so what was their last attacking turn? 120. Oh. That was why. They weren't swinging for enough damage to KO. They were two-shotting our Tyranitar before Cape. And then if we used Cape that turn, they would have had, what, 160? Because we put another Dartrix in the discard pile with Cracking Stomp. And then we would have we KO'd their Murkrow, so they actually had 2 more United Wings Pokemon in the discard. 160 would not KO our active. We would not have needed to play Luxurious Cape. We would have tanked the attack, allowing us to take 2 prize cards essentially every turn with Tyranitar. On top of the boss KO I had on their Latias. Yeah, you know what? I think we actually were going to clutch that up. I think that was an early scoop for my opponent because they saw that they were two-shotting us, and that is an awful place to be in a single prize matchup. So, hey, the bulk of single prize Tyranitar, the item lock in match number 1, the match number 2 win with Neutralization Zone. I mean, that's it's just how well-rounded this deck is, honestly. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Definitely give this deck a shout and tune in this Saturday at 11 a.m. EST for the Creators Cook-Off. It is going to be probably one of the most fun events I've done Pokemon-wise in such a long time. Maybe up there with the Rogue Regionals. So definitely tune into that live stream. It's going to be a fun one. Anyways, I hope you guys are all doing awesome. With that being said, stay epic. Peace.